So what we're going to take a look at next, after they go to the register success, they're going to be advised that there's going to be an email sent to their inbox for their email account. And when they click on that link, we want to take them to a React component in our application that then goes to our server along with the token that they'll have from their email address to actually verify their email account. So what we'll do is we'll create another component inside our users folder and create a new file, and we'll call this one confirm email.tsx. And what we'll do, we'll just import React from React, and then we'll say export default function, and we'll say confirm email. And what we'll do here is we'll create a component that's going to check the verification status, and we're going to have the email and the token available as query string parameters. And what we'll also do once their email is confirmed is we'll give them the option to open up the login modal and log straight in from there. So what we'll do is we'll bring in our modal store and we'll say use store, and then we'll get our query string values. So we'll say const email equals use query, and we'll say get and email, and again we'll need to specify as string, and we'll say const token equals use query, and we'll say dot get and token, and again we'll say as string. And then we'll create an object called status, and we're going to give this some values of verifying, and we'll set this as a string called verifying, and we'll have failed, and we'll set this to failed, and we'll have success, and we'll set this to success. And then we'll just use local state to store the state of the status. So what we'll do is we'll open up square brackets and we'll say status and set status. And we'll set this equal to use state. And we'll give it an initial value of status.verifying. Now what we'll do, if they get an error here, we'll give them the option to resend the email confirmation. So we'll go to our register success, and I'll just copy and paste this and copy it into the confirm email component, just so that we can use this inside here as well. And we'll just bring in the missing imports here. And what we'll do then is we'll use a use effect, something that's going to happen when this component loads. So what we'll do, when this component's loaded, we're going to call our API controller endpoint to attempt to verify their email. So what we'll do is we'll say agent.account and then verify email, and we're going to have access to the token and the email. And then we can use len, and in case of success we'll say set status, and we'll say status.success, and then we'll catch any errors, and we won't take in the error, but we'll just set the status to status.failed. And because it's a use effect, we need to give it its dependencies, and we'll need status.verifying, status.failed, and status.success. And we'll also need the token and the email as dependencies as well. And in fact, we don't need the verifying because that's not identified in our use effect. We just need the failed and success. And then what we'll do, below this method, we'll create a new function and we'll call it getBody. And we'll return a different body depending on what the status is. So we'll add a switch statement that's based on the status that's stored in our local state. And if the case is status.verifying, then what we're going to return is just a paragraph with the text verifying ... And in the case the status is failed, then we're going to return, and we'll add a div, and we'll say verification failed. You can try resending the verify link to your email. And below this, we'll just add a button and we'll make it primary, and we'll give it an on-click, and we'll set it to equal to handle confirm email resend. We'll give it size equal to huge, and we'll give it content equal to resend email. And below this, we'll add another case for status.success. And in this case, what we'll do is we'll return, and we'll say div, and we'll add a paragraph saying email has been verified. You can now log in. And below this, we'll just add another button, and we'll make it primary and give it the on-click events equal to, and we'll add a function, and we'll say modal store.openModal, and we'll pass in our login form, and we'll give it a size equal to huge. And then below this function, what we can do is we can return, and inside here we'll just use a segment and make it a placeholder segment, and we'll just say text-align equals center, and then we'll add a header and make it of type icon, and then just add an icon inside here and bring this in from semantic UI React, and we'll just give it a name equal to envelope, and we'll just say email verification, and then we'll add a segment dot inline, and inside here we'll just add the expression, and we'll say get body, and the parentheses so that this gets executed when our component loads. And what we also want to do is add a new route for this in our app.tsx. So what we'll do, we'll just copy this line down, and the component is going to be confirm email. And the fact we're getting an error here suggests that we've got a slight error somewhere, and it's telling us type void is not assignable to function component. But if we go back to our confirm email, then the get body is grayed out, and that means I've got the return in the wrong place. And let's see, even with bracket pair colorizer, it's still possible to make mistakes, obviously. The return needs to be below the getBody function. And let's see. And yep, that's cleared up the error, and that should now be fine. So what we can do is we can go back to our app, and the error has now gone from here. And the path we want for this is the same as what we're returning in our email link. And what did we call this inside our account controller? Let's just refresh the memory. So what we're doing is we want them to go to the route called account verify email, and this is on our client side. So that's the route we need to add inside here. So it's going to be account and verify email, even though I've called the component confirm email. So we're almost there. There's just a few more things to clean up, and then we can go and test this. And we'll take a look at that next.